Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Laura Clark, and I am a customer success manager as well as a co-founder here at Boardable. And we are grateful that you've joined us this afternoon for our administrative training. I also have Zach Suliff with me, and he is also one of our customer success managers. I'll let Zach say hello.
Good afternoon, good morning to everyone from wherever you're listening from. Excited to be here with you today.
Great, thanks, Zach. We are going to go through just some slides with you, and then we'll hop in the product and we will kind of walk you through the basic setup that you're going to need for getting it going in your account. Again, this is for administrators and really just that first training so that you have everything that you need in order to feel comfortable in the platform. If you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to jot those in the questions area or the chat in the panel, and we will address all of those at the end of today's webinar. First, though, we do want to kind of get a handle on where everybody is as far as your experience in the platform. So Zach and I are going to go ahead and turn off our cameras, and then we have Katie who's helping us out on the back end of things, and she's going to put up a poll for us that we'd like you to answer that'll just kind of help us know how long you've been using Boardable. So if you want to go ahead and answer that. It looks like we have quite a few people who are still on trial, and then we have some that are brand new, been using it less than a month, so that's great. All right. And then we have one more poll question for you, Katie, if you want to go ahead and put that up. What are the areas you're most interested in learning about today? We just want to make sure that we're covering what you need. Great, it looks like we have a lot of interest in the meetings and our collaborative tools, such as discussions and polls and tasks. So we will make sure to hit all of those. And again, if you have questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat. We do have an upcoming webinar as well that I want to make sure that you're all aware of. It's going to be this next week on Wednesday, June 16th, and it's going to be about improving board adoption. So if you're brand new to Boardable, this could be a great way for you to learn how to navigate that change and moving your board onto a board management tool such as Boardable. So that's coming up this next Wednesday, June 16th at 2 p.m. If you want to register for that, you can do that from our boardable.com/academy. You can access that within your account, and we'll show you where that is today as well as we're doing our webinar.
So we have three main types of plans here at Boardable. The first is our grassroots plan. This is a great option for our young organizations, maybe who are just getting started, who are very small. You may have up to 10 users on your account, and you do have some limits on your storage, but it does allow you to start those first steps at getting your board organized and meeting remotely or hybrid. The middle plan is our essentials plan. This is one of our most popular plans here. You'll be able to have everything that's included within grassroots, as well as setting and tracking one goal for your organization, exporting your data from the previous 3 months as well. And then finally, we have our professional plan, which is really for those organizations ready to take their board to the next level. You have a dedicated support person and advanced tools for most professional board experiences. Within this plan, you have unlimited features in terms of goal tracking, and the reports can be downloaded for the lifetime of your account. We also have an enterprise level, which is for our large organizations that we are able to integrate some of those third-party integrations as well.
We also have some feature updates that have either just hit our product or are coming soon. So want to make sure we point those out to you today. One of them is Spotlight, which is our video meeting platform. And we will talk about that today, and I will walk you through a tour of that. It's a great tool that you can use that really pulls together all the pieces and parts you would need for a meeting, whether that be virtual or whether that be in person or a hybrid of such. And it puts it all in one place. So we'll show you that today. We also have Zoom integrated into our Spotlight as well. So if that's how you choose to meet, you can do that too. And these are available in all plans. And other things that have come to our product recently is we have improved our PDF viewing. You now have nested folders within the Document Center. Publishing of minutes, so you're able to publish those minutes when you're ready for them to be viewed by your board members. And finally, we now have a desktop app. So if you go to our website, you can download that desktop app and you would be able to use it without going through a browser. Coming soon, we are working to improve our calendar integration. That should be out in the product before too long, as well as some Spotlight video improvements, including recording. So those things will be coming soon. As you get started, there are a few tips that we do want to point out. The first is that you're going to want to customize your account or upload your logo into your account. Then you're going to want to set up your groups and your committees. Then you'll want to enter your users into the people directory, but don't send out those welcome invites yet. Just enter the users in there. Then we'll want you to talk about Boardable as often as possible, whether that be through your newsletters or whether that be through emails coming out from you, but just so your board is aware of it and they know to be looking for it. Then once you've alerted them that you're going to be sending out those welcome invites, you're able to send out those welcome invites and they can start their account. We also want to point out that there are 3 different user permissions in the account. So as you're adding those users, you'll be asked to assign them a user permission. You can either be an administrator, which they really can see and do everything in the account, which is probably what most of you are, but you're going to be able to see and do everything, make any change plans that you need to, add people, delete people, change anything in the account that you need to. Members is going to be the next level, and they're able to create meetings, polls, discussions, upload documents, and they can view all activity in the groups that they are assigned to. And then finally, you have observers, and they're going to be able to participate in everything that they're assigned to, but they're never going to be able to see that document center within your account. So we'll point that out again as we get into the platform, but those are going to be the 3 main differences. The next item to point out is there are a couple additional user permissions. If you have someone that you have added as a member to your account, but you'd like to be able to give them a few more permissions, you do have the ability to make someone a group administrator, which basically gives them administrative rights within a specific group. We see this used a lot in the in an example of when you have a chairman of a particular committee. Oftentimes that person will be made the group administrator. So they're able to get in and publish a meeting. They can add documents to a meeting before it's been published and allows you as the main administrator not to have to do quite all of the duties. So it's a great tool to get more people involved in the platform and make it easier for everyone. There's also a meeting collaborator if you have a specific meeting that you would like to have someone help you set up by adding documents or uploading the agenda or creating the agenda or minutes. You can make them a meeting collaborator and they're able to do that for that one particular meeting. And again, we'll talk about these as we get into the platform, but just wanted to point them out. Also, we want to make sure you know where to go if you have any questions. So we'll get a lot of information today, and we know it may not all stick, so don't feel bad about that. You can always come back and get help through our help center within the account. You can click on the help center and it will take you to an area where you can search by topic. You also can access our Boardable Academy that's going to give you a lot of tutorial videos that you can watch, and we'll show you how to access that within the account. And finally, you can always reach out to our support center at support@boardable.com. So we'll make sure you know where all of that is before we leave today. And you can see there's that help center. Oh, I did forget too, we do have an in-product chat in the bottom right-hand corner. So you're able to ask questions, give feedback with that in-product chat Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time. All right, we are now going to hop into the product and Zach is going to walk you through the beginning parts of that.
I sure am. Thank you, Laura. Let me begin sharing my screen here. I am ready to go. Okay, let me know if you can't see my dashboard page, but this is the main page that you will see when you log into Boardable. So I'm going to start out by taking us over to the settings section over here on the left-hand side. This is where you can really start to kind of personalize your board members' experience by creating a dashboard that is familiar to them with content and logos of the organizations that you are representing. So here you can leave a message for them that will populate on the first page of their dashboard. You can include logos as well, and then you can also update who your email from name would be. So if you want to send it from the organizational name or your name, you can make that adjustment here. In user settings, I can set a default time zone for all my users. So if I'm located in the central time zone and all my board members are, I can select central and set that as their default time zone. Users also have the ability to go in and make this adjustment themselves in their account. So if you have board members sitting across the country, they can adjust their time zone that reflects where they currently are. We'll touch on this a little bit later once Laura dives into the meetings, but you can set some default agenda list styles depending on what your preference is in this area. And then we also have the ability for you to add agenda templates. So if you've got a certain structure to those meetings, you can make those additions in this area. Moving over now to the, let me jump over to the dashboard real fast. So these are where those adjustments and those additions would come. So your logos will populate over here. This is the dashboard message that we reference that you can make updates to as well. In the people section, this is a pretty straightforward tool. This is where you will populate all your users who will be utilizing the platform. Very easy to add someone. I'm just going to click add someone. And I'm going to get the option to populate this information. So I'm going to say Zach Suliff, and we'll give me this email account here. And I can go ahead and assign them a role. So most of them will probably be members, which will be able to do those things in the platform that Laura mentioned earlier. If I have a couple of folks that I want to make an administrator level to also help me out in managing the platform, I can select that or the observer option as well. If you have the groups tab populated already, you can go ahead and assign them to groups that are relevant to them, but you don't have to do that at this step right now. If I click submit, that will save them into the people directory. It has not sent the invitation to them quite yet. So if you want to go ahead and populate everybody's name in the platform, you can do so without sending the invitation. If we click over to the people directory now, you're going to see that this additional Zach Suliff has been populated down here, and it reflects that the invitation has not been sent yet. I can also see that information up here that I have one invitation still to send, and I can go ahead and send it by clicking the send button here. I can share a message with this person so they know that it's coming from me and to introduce them to Boardable. I can also select my name with this checkbox here and have the option to send an invitation this way as well. You might get a board member or two that has the invitation end up in their junk folder or spam folder. That might be reflected by this notification here that says the invitation was delivered, but if they can't seem to find it and they can't locate it in their junk inbox, then you can also select this notification here. I'm going to uncheck myself, and you can copy a specific invitation link that is unique to that user. So you can send that from your own email, and that should be able to get them access into the platform. I can see those unaccepted invitations right here, and I can choose to send them all at once. So Caroline, Harrison, and Samantha would get that notification again. And another unique tool about the people directory is I'm able to see when folks last logged in. So if I have a board member that doesn't seem to be as active, I can jump over into here and see when was the last time they logged in. So David, for example, hasn't logged in almost 3 years. We probably need to have a conversation with him about what's going on with that, but you're able to at least track how often they're logging into the platform through the people directory. The groups tab over here I mentioned briefly before, but this is where you can really start to build out your committees and your groups within Boardable. So as you can see here, we've got a board of directors group that has everybody populated, but then we have some subcommittees in here that pull from that board group as well. creating a group is very easy. I'm just going to click add group. I'll provide a group name. I can give it a group owner for whoever is on the platform. And I can also select those individuals that would populate that group as well. Then if I click save, it would populate. Let's just jump over into the governance committee real quick. And we'll touch on these a little bit later too, but this is a great space for collaboration. So you can track goals within a specific committee. You can see all the activity that's related to the governance committee, such as upcoming meetings or polls or discussions. Those meetings will also populate here so that committee members can jump to their meeting page quickly. Any polls that are currently active within this committee will show up in this section here. You can upload documents into this section to have a working document area. We'll touch on the document center a little bit later, but that's a great place to kind of work through some working docs. And then you've also got discussion threads that populate here. If you want to assign tasks to specific users within the governance committee, they can do that themselves, or you as an admin are able to do that. And then you can also update the roster of members in this section here. So I'm going to kick it on over to Laura. She's going to walk us through the meetings portion of it, and then I'll check in with you guys a little bit later about some additional collaboration tools.
Great, you guys should be seeing my screen. Let me know if you're not. But we are going to go ahead and cover the meeting suite within Boardable. So I'm going to choose meetings over here on the left-hand tab. And you should be seeing all of the meetings. At the top here, you're going to see all of your upcoming published meetings and all of your upcoming unpublished meetings. And we'll talk about what that means here in just a minute. And finally, you're going to see all of your past meetings that you would be able to go into. When I want to add a meeting, I just click add meeting in that upper right-hand corner. I'm going to go ahead and drop in the date if I know the date. You also do have the ability to find a meeting date, and this is our scheduler tool, so you can drop in as many dates as you like to put out options for folks. They then can let you know what their availability is. As the meeting creator, you're able to see that. You choose the date that works best for most. You select that, and they're notified of that date. Next is going to be a recurring meeting. So if you, for example, have a meeting that meets the first Monday of every month, you could set that up for a period of time. But today we're going to go as though we know the date. So we're going to hop into July, choose a time. We are going to assign this to our governance committee. And then down here, you're going to see where you can choose your video options. If you want to use Boardable Spotlight, you can do that. If you want to do Zoom, you'll be able to integrate your calendar with, your Zoom account with Boardable so that it would automatically create that meeting for you in your Zoom account when you click on this. You can also do another link. So for example, if you use GoToMeeting, you could choose that and you would be able to drop in that link here, or you can choose no video. Today, we're going to choose Boardable Spotlight so that you can see what that looks like. But below that, here we'd have the option of dropping in a location if we want to, a description. And then here you can choose what minutes options you'd like. You can choose to use our classic minutes maker or our freeform minutes and notes. Today, we're going to use our freeform minutes and notes. And here's where you're going to assign that to a particular group. So I'm going to assign this was a governance meeting, so I'm going to assign this to the governance committee, and it's automatically going to populate those folks over here on the right. If there was anyone I wanted to remove, I could click on that red X and it would remove them from that meeting. I also can add additional users. These would be other folks who may not be a part of this group, but they do have a login to your Boardable account, so you could add them. Or you can add a guest. So if I wanted to add a guest, I could do that here, and that would allow me to be able to send out that guest a notification of the meeting. Today, we're going to go ahead and we will invite Harold Smith. I'm going to drop in an email address. And we have added Harold Smith. So I'm going to go ahead and click and save and continue. And it is creating that meeting for us. Now you're on this page and you're going to see that this yellow box at the top is telling us that this meeting has not been published. And what that means is only admins are going to be able to see this within their account. When you are ready for your board members to be able to see this, you can choose to publish calendar only. If I choose to do that, it's going to send out a notification to them via email that lets them RSVP and get this meeting on their calendar. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to send this out to all invited users and our guest. We'll hit publish, and it's going to send out that meeting notification to them. This allows me as the admin now to come in and get this meeting fully set up. I can add my agenda, upload all my documents, get it ready to go before I fully publish this meeting. And once I fully publish it, my board members or meeting invitees will be able to access this meeting page and all the contents. So we will go ahead and publish this so you can see what that looks like. But you would just have the option of dropping in a message. And again, you can choose, do you want to send out those notifications? So I'm going to send that out to our invited users and guests. I could choose particular individuals if I want to. But we'll click publish, and that's going to fire out that notification, and it's going to fully publish the meeting. Now, let's walk through the meeting page, and we'll walk through setting up the agenda so you can see what that looks like. The top is going to be your basic information about the meeting, date, time. It's going to have the meeting, how you can join the meeting. If you've done Zoom, they would click join meeting, or any other type of GoToMeeting or any other type of video conferencing platform. Or Spotlight is also going to say join the meeting. Your users can add this to their calendar if they'd like to. They can drop it on their calendar here, or they can choose to integrate or sync their calendar with Boardable. Below that, you have the ability to add polls. This is really an opportunity for you to capture a vote electronically. Oftentimes, we'll see organizations use this for approving minutes from the last meeting, but you can create a poll to do that. Here is where you would be able to add documents. You can pull them from your computer. You can pull them from the Document Center, or we do integrate with Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive. You can also assign tasks if you'd like to. So this is a great way to increase accountability for your meeting members. So if you wanted to assign a task, you could do so here by, let's say, we'll say get a new donor as their task. I give it a due date, and then I can assign this to a particular group, or I can give it to just particular people. So if I wanted to give this just to particular people, I could also choose that. Today, we're going to assign this to our entire group, the governance committee. We'll click save, and it creates that task, and they will be notified via email of their task that they've been assigned. Below that, you're going to see the people area of your meeting page, and you're going to see everyone who's been invited. You'll also see the area where you can make them a collaborator. We mentioned that briefly in our slide deck, but this is where you can add the ability for someone, by making them a collaborator, that they can come in and help you build the agenda, upload documents, or publish the meeting. So if I wanted to, I could make Grayson a collaborator. He would receive an email letting him know that he's been made a collaborator, and then he's able to access the meeting page. Below that is you're gonna see the guests, and then comments. You can also make comments on a meeting page. All right, let's hop back up here. On the right-hand side, this is going to be the administrator navigation bar. You can always come in and edit any meeting information that you need to edit after the fact, add users, take users away. We'll go ahead though and go back. It's going to ask me, do I want to send a notification of changes that I made? We did not, but I can if I want to. It's going to take me back to my meeting page. You then have the option of building your agenda. So let's walk through that process so you can see what that's like. So to build your agenda, you have the option of starting from scratch or starting with a template. Today, we're going to start with a template. You're able to customize it however you'd like. So I think from when you're first starting out in Boardable, this is a great way to start. You can then walk through each section, and you're able to create whatever you'd like to. So we're going to say that this is going to be our budget review. We're going to choose who is responsible for this. You can give it a time duration. I can drop in a description if I'd like to. And then here I can upload documents if I'd like to this agenda. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple documents that are uploaded into our Documents Center. So I would be able to load these in. I'm going to attach these. But I also could pull them from my computer, or again, I can pull them from Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive. I click Save and it creates that section of the agenda. You're just going to walk through and get this set up like you'd like it to be set up. Once you have it the way you want it, you can come over and do Save as a template if you'd like to. And so, for example, if your board meeting agenda always looks basically the same, you can save it as such, and then you're not starting over each time. We're going to go back to our meeting page. I'll click Return to Meeting. And you'll see that agenda is here, and you'll see that it's created, and it also lists the documents that were uploaded to the agenda. And those are going to be listed in the order in which they were uploaded. Your board members or meeting invitees, when they come to their meeting page, when they log into their account and they come to this meeting page, they're able to open the agenda. They can do Open Agenda. It's going to open in a separate tab for them, and they're able to walk through here and access all of the documents directly from this page. They also can highlight particular areas and take notes that would be personal to them, so they would be able to keep those. Go back to the meeting page. You also would be able to open this as a PDF if you wanted to do that, to download it, or to screen share the agenda. Finally, the professional plans have the ability to use our board packet, and this builds a board packet for you. And what it does is it compiles a large PDF with your agenda and then all of the additional documents that you have uploaded. So it takes a second for it to generate. It's turning everything into one large PDF. But the beauty of this is when your board members come into the platform and they come to this meeting page, they're able to click on that board packet button, and they have the whole thing right there in front of them, and they're able to do it. So it's created that board packet. You'll notice everything was created correctly because you've got those green checks. I can choose to open it or quick print. Let's open it just so you can see what that looks like. But you've got your agenda, and then below that, it's got all the documents that I uploaded. All right, we'll go back to our meeting page. That's pretty much the agenda. Again, I know we're going through a lot of information, so if you have any questions, please feel free to drop those into our webinar, and we will be sure to cover them all at the end. Next thing on here is going to be Take Minutes. So when you are ready to take minutes, you're going to be able to click Take Minutes. And you can choose, do I want to start from the agenda that I created, or do I want to start from scratch? I'm going to say I want to start from the agenda. You click to go in there, and it auto-populates that agenda that you created. I then am able to come into each of these sections. I can click on this little cross here, and I can choose what parts do I want to add. So right now we're going to add that meeting info. It's dropped it below my first item in the agenda. So I'm going to click here, choose this little button here. I'm going to click to move it up. So you'll see now I've got my logo and the meeting details at the top of the page. I can then click into each section and drop in what I'd like to drop in. So if I want a text field, I can go ahead and start typing. If we need to capture a vote, I can click here to come down, and we're going to capture a vote. It's going to pull in everyone's name who's been invited to this meeting, and I have the ability to go in and record their votes. But you'll see as you play with this a little bit, all the different options you have. You can record a decision, attendance, outline entry, a list, page break, a heading. So you can play with it. We have some users who will take notes offline, take the minutes offline, and then they come back in and they add them after the meeting. Some do it as the meeting goes on. You can just do it however it works for you. When you are ready, you can click Publish Minutes once you've got them just how you'd like them to be. You can choose, do you want to notify everyone with email notification, or do you just want to publish them? But once I publish them and I return to my meeting page, you'll see that those minutes sit there on the meeting page. And you can open them up if you'd like to. All right, below that is going to be the send message. If you need to send a message out to your meeting invitees, you can do that here. You can choose specific individuals or everyone. You also can choose to create a follow-up meeting if you'd like to. It's going to pull the same people into that meeting. You also can use our public page option. Some organizations need to do this because they need to make their meetings publicly available to the public. So they would be, if you choose to do this, you can click on that. You would choose that I want to enable this. It will allow you to choose what you want to enable. You click save, and then I would be able to copy this link and I could open it in a separate tab, and it would open up this page. It's going to give your agenda and the pieces and parts of the meeting that you have told it that it can put out there. Your users, or I'm sorry, they are not going to be able to access documents from this page though, however. Okay, so we will close that out. And finally, the video meeting. This is where you can make changes to things as you need to from the admin perspective. Before we hop into that, I'm going to come back here and I want to show you from your board members' perspective how they would access their meeting. They're going to come to this page. They're going to be able to click join meeting. And when they do that, they're going to be able to click start video meeting. And then they can click join meeting. As they've done that, you'll see that the agenda is over here on the left-hand side. And this is our Spotlight video integration. So this is Boardable Spotlight, and it pulls in the agenda here. It also pulls in all the documents. So you would be able to click into one of those documents. The beauty of this is your users are not having to go between screens. Everything is all in one spot. You also can present one of these documents. So if I choose to present, everyone else is going to be able to see this on their screen here in the middle. Because I'm the only one in the meeting, it's not showing up that way for me, but you all would see it on your screen there. You also have the ability to take minutes here within here. So if you wanted to take minutes, you could do that. You'd click right into it just like we did on the meeting page. Below that is going to be documents. These are all the documents that have been uploaded, so you can click directly into those. We have a chat functionality. Also down here, just like most meeting platforms, we have those tools. You can control your camera, whether you're muted, you can raise your hand. You also can share your screen. So if you'd like to share your screen of a different tab, you're able to do that. And then you can change how you're viewing your attendees. All right, so that is going to be the Boardable Spotlight video. If you happen to have chosen a Zoom integration, you would have clicked into this join meeting and you would be then directed by clicking into the Zoom meeting, you would go right into your meeting. All right, so that is the meeting suite. I know that was a lot of information, but again, please feel free to let us know what questions you might have. And with that, I'm going to kick it back to Zach.
Perfect. Thank you, Laura. That was a great overview of the Spotlight video experience. Again, like she said, if you have any questions, drop those in the chat. If you also would like to check out our Boardable Academy Center, there's some really great videos around that entire experience as well. So in the final few minutes that we've got here, I'm going to go through the final pieces of collaboration, and then we'll jump into your questions here. Real quick, this is the Document Center. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Not much different here than just what would look like a My Documents piece of your own personal computer. So you can build this out in whatever way you want, whatever way makes sense for your team or your board members. Creating a folder is very easy. You just do so by clicking here, giving it a name. You can give it accessibility to everyone, or if you want to limit it to a specific group, such as your finance committee, you can do so by selecting that. And then a little padlock will populate here. As an admin, you're going to have access into every folder and every document, but board members will only have access to the ones that they are assigned to. As Laura mentioned earlier, you can build these out as many layers deep as you want to. So I can just keep clicking and creating more folders and more folders, and all that information will live in here. Populating this information is really easy as well. You can drag and drop multiple files at a time from either your Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, or your own personal computer as well, so you don't have to upload one document at a time. Another cool thing that I like to point out with the Document Center is that board members have the ability to star documents that are relevant specifically to them. So let's say you've got this structured out really deep, and board members may not want to click 6 or 7 folders deep to find a document that they need to reference often. So they can star it, and it will live in this starred folder that is unique to each board member. So that's just a quick and easy way to access these documents as needed. I'm going to jump over to the discussion section over here. So as an admin, you're going to be able to see every discussion that is occurring within the platform all over the place. So you're going to be able to see it in meetings, in group discussions, anything like that. This is a great place for you to be able to start getting conversations out of email inboxes and into one centralized locations. I know that we've probably got some folks that love to hit that reply all button, and that just really clutters and confuses things. So discussion threads are a great way to have collaboration outside of the email inbox. They're really easy to function. You can populate them, as I said, in a meeting platform or in a group page or right here in this discussions tab. So you can give it a title, information here. You can attach files if you want folks to be able to reference anything, assign it to groups or to individuals as well. And then once you click publish, those folks will get an email notification saying you've got a discussion thread that you've been tagged in, and we encourage you to get in there and join the conversation. Polls are another great way to have collaboration and also get decisions made. So as you can see here, we've got a lot of polls that have closed. We've got a poll that is still to be published and one that is open. But again, a pretty straightforward feature. I'm just going to click add poll. I can give it a title, a description. I can attach a file if there's anything that's worth referencing for this poll. I can include my answers here. I can also add as many additional answers as I need to, and folks can choose either one answer or multiple answers, however you want to structure it. And then I can assign a due date. I can keep the votes anonymous as well. That's a good way to encourage folks to share their true opinion, I guess we could say. I can assign it to groups and individuals as well. When I click save, they will get an email notification saying they have a poll to participate in. And this is what an open poll would look like. So it's a pretty simple structure, but they can vote, hit submit, and then you as an admin can also get notifications around when a poll is completed, or you'll be able to track what folks are still outstanding from that poll. Tasks, as Laura mentioned, is a great accountability feature within Boardable. You can do this from a lot of different areas in the platform as well. This is kind of the main housing port for all of those tasks. So I can assign tasks to groups or to individuals from this viewpoint here, simply by clicking add task, give it a due date, and I can assign it to individuals or folks as a group. They're going to get that email notification saying that there's something for them to knock out as well. And then I can view outstanding tasks in a couple different ways. One, I can see all tasks that are tied to specific meetings and what our progress is toward those tasks. I can also see tasks from the individual perspective. So for example, David's struggling. He's got 13 tasks outstanding, but we'll give him some slack. If I click include completed tasks, he does have some tasks completed, but I'm able to see tasks that are highlighted as yellow are past the due date, that have a due date attributed to them. He's also got some tasks that don't have a date attributed to them, but they're still going to show as outstanding because they have this gray check mark. It might be worth nudging David to get in there and start knocking some of these things out. The goals feature, real quick, is one of my favorite features. It's a great way to track progress toward certain standards or certain responsibilities that board members may have individually or as a group. So you can create a new goal by tracking things both in terms of a number, currency, or a percentage. You can give yourself a starting mark as well as what the goal might look like at the end. You can also set targets. So if you want to be to a certain dollar value within 30 days, you can set that date here. So let's say July 11th, we want to be at $10,000, and we have a goal of 20,000. So that's a good way to kind of set some benchmarks for your team. You can assign it to certain groups and individuals as well. That's going to trigger another one of those email notifications. And then if I jump over to goals, you can at least kind of see what those look like. So goals living here right now. If I jump over here to see volunteer recruitment, I can also track what our progress looks like visually. So I like the visual representation. It gives me a really quick insight into how we're doing. As you can see, we started out really well. We were above target, and then we kind of plateaued. So got a little bit of work here to do in the last little bit. But goals, again, a lot of flexibility around that, and a great way to kind of help keep your board on track. Lastly, real quick, again, reports. You can pull reports for your account to give you as much data and insights around your activity. So if you are looking for a bunch of meeting reports, you can pull downloads, which compiles all the meeting minutes and agenda and the summaries, all from the last 30 days, 90 days, year, or all time. And so you can easily access those without having to go into meetings specifically. Another great feature here for admins is to be able to track board member attendance. So if I want to see the attendance of board members over the last year, I'm able to see that here. So again, we're going to pick on David. David's only at about 32% attendance, and that might be another conversation that we would want to have to help get him up to maybe 70, 80% or whatever your standard is for those board members. So that is a lot of information, as Laura said. We threw a lot at you today. I do want to reference, again, the Help Center, which will take you to our Help Center full of documents and help articles around every feature within Boardable. You can search for whatever you need there. The Academy is populated with a lot of really quick 3 to 5 minute videos that walk you through all these features as well. If you're more of a visual learner like me, those videos will be your best friend. And then over here, again, the bottom right-hand side is going to be access to our support chat that's staffed by real folks, 9 to 5, Monday through Wednesday. That's Eastern Standard Time, by the way, Monday through Friday. And they're going to be really good at dissecting your problem, and they know the platform in ways that I didn't even know were possible. So they'll be a really good resource for you as well. I don't know if we have any questions in the chat, Katie or Laura. Anything worth sharing there?
No, I'm not seeing any questions coming through yet, but there's still time if folks are thinking them, they can be typing them in.
Also, too, if there's just an area that we went over too quickly that you'd like to see us kind of like rehash out again, please let us know. While we are taking a minute, I don't think, and just giving people an opportunity to drop in those questions, I don't think that we really covered today the personal profile. Did we talk about that? Zach?
I don't think I did. That's a great thing to take a look at real quick while we're giving folks a second.
Sure, I can happy to walk through that. So you're still looking at Zach's screen. This is going to be the user profile. So all of your users are able to access their own profile in their upper right-hand corner underneath their name. And so they would click on their name and then choose profile. Here is where they can come in and update all of their information, all the about me information. The next one's going to be their profile image. They can go in and update their profile image. Contact and social, they can drop in as much of that as they like. The next tab is going to be the personal information, and this is private only to admins. So as an admin, if you want to track like home addresses, birth dates, this can often be good for holiday cards or something that you don't want that information out there for everyone on the account, but just the admins would be able to see this. Next down is going to be that login and password. So should they need to change their login or their password, they can come here to do it. Next is going to be the calendar integration. So if they want to integrate or sync their calendar with Boardable, they can do that here. If they choose connect, or I'm sorry, if they have a Google Calendar, they would just hit connect. And or if they have any other type of iCalendar subscription, they would do copy to clipboard, and they would open their calendar and drop that link in. The next tab down, this one is pretty important. This is the notifications tab, and this is basically them telling how often they're going to receive email notifications from Boardable. So if they choose do not send email notifications, as this one has, they will never receive an email notification from Boardable. So they will only know anything that's going on if they log into the account. So we would highly suggest that you encourage them to either choose immediately or periodically. Periodically is a 2 times a day digest. Another tip I like to tell admins is that you are able to see this in their account. So you're able to open up their profile and you can see what they've chosen. And if you have someone who's chosen do not send, you might want to just have a little conversation with them and ask them if it's okay if you switch it. The next little area there is the additional email addresses for notifications. And this is great if you happen to have somebody who has an administrative assistant that they want to receive those email notifications, or if they just have a secondary like personal email address. That's a great spot for that. Next down, time zone. If they need to adjust their time zone, they can do that. And then two-factor authentication. If they want to enable that on their account, they can do that. And then finally, Zoom integration. Typically, your board members are not going to need to do this, but it is a great thing for admins to do to integrate if you're not planning on using Boardable Spotlight video, I would suggest you do the Zoom integration because you are able to integrate your Zoom account with Boardable so that when you create a meeting within Boardable, it creates it in your Zoom account. So that's a very quick little rundown through the profile, but wanted to make sure we pointed that out.
Thanks, Laura. And I did see a question come through, and that is asking, what is the difference between the desktop app that's new and the Boardable website?
Great question. So the what we're in right now, what we're looking at here on Zach's computer is we are accessing it through Google Chrome browser. We're using a browser to access it. If you do the desktop, you're actually downloading that app onto your computer and you're able to open it and use it without having to go through a browser. Zach, do you have anything to add to that? I didn't know if you were opening something up there. Sorry.
Sorry, I was attempting to open my my Boardable data.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, desktop app. Yeah. Sorry.
So you would have, if you download that desktop app, you're going to have the little Boardable logo right there on your desktop. You're able to open it and access the Boardable account directly from there. One of the nice parts about the desktop app, if you happen to use Spotlight with video, it's a great way to access those meetings. When you're going through a browser such as Google Chrome browser, it just adds some complication into the connectivity for that video, where if you're going through a desktop app, it completely takes out the browser and it makes it a little bit of an easier experience for you. Any other questions? He's got it open there. So he's opened his desktop app and you'll see it looks exactly the same as the one we're accessing through a browser.
I have to remember my password though, so
that's all right.
Part of our challenge here. But yes, as Laura said, it's very similar to the browser experience, but it will at least just keep everything in a much more accessible place rather than having to log on to a certain browser and navigate to our homepage.
Any other questions? I'm not seeing any. Katie, did you see any others come in?
No, I don't see any others. I did see that there were a couple of questions about when the desktop app would be available, so I dropped that into the chat, a link for you to find out where to download that. It's available now.
It is. It's available right now. Well, we really appreciate all of you joining us today. If you come up with any questions after you leave us today, please feel free to reach out either to in-product chat, or you can reach out to support@boardable.com. But we're always happy to answer any questions you might have. You also too, don't forget you can access that Boardable Academy with the tutorials. So you would be able to do that, and that would be on that left navigation bar within the account. So you're able to access that. With that, we don't want to keep you any longer than we need to on a Friday afternoon. So we really appreciate you joining us, and we hope you guys have a great weekend.